Hello, welcome to another episode of our live stream. Oh, wearing my wife's glasses. Time to wear my glasses, my man glasses. I hope you guys are having a good night. And, I just want to look at the first surah in the Quran, which is called Al Fatiha. Fatiha comes from the word iftah. In fact, it's actually used in the Bible. You know that when Jesus was praying for someone, I believe it was someone whose ears were closed, who was deaf. It says the word iftah, which means open, and so it's very similar to the Hebrew iftah, and so the word fatha comes from the same basic word, which is opening, the opening, and so so. Just want to talk about some issues that I have with the Fatha. Some issues that are. Hello, welcome, brother Emmanuel Shahid, bro, and Sis Mashni. God bless you. Sis Mashni is organizing. She's the organizer of the two. I'm the disorganized. I'm the husband, and so Sharia Tube is not giving me no. Oh, you know what? I only came on a few. I only posted something a few minutes ago. So yeah, yeah. I was looking at the Fatha, and I just want to talk a little bit about the Fatha. Emmanuel, I don't know if you'd like to come on, man. Haven't seen you on here for a while. If you'd like to come on, I'll send an invite here. 2x. I'm sure you know the Fatha. Control V. Okay. This is undoubtedly the most famous surah in the Quran. This is to the most. I'm rinsing my mouth, bro. I need to teach you how to spell. Rinsing is not WRINC. You obviously don't do laundry, because if you do laundry, you'd know that's not how to spell rinse. But um, so anyway, I just want to look a little bit at the Fatha. Now the Fatha is, I forgot you're the, yeah, and the English. Well, my spell. Even when I was a reporter, I used to be known for my spelling abilities. And hello, Crystal Rock. But yeah, I just wanted to look at the Fatiha. The Fatiha is the surah in the Quran that is like the Lord's Prayer for the Muslims. They pray this at every occasion. They pray it at an engagement. They pray it at a wedding. They pray it at a child's birth. They pray it at a they go to somebody's grave after they die and pray that over. I think they pray it 17 times a day. If they do the prayers if they do the prayers 5 times a day, I think they do the Fatiha 17 times. It's that important, to the Muslims. It is the first surah in the Quran, and it's very short, and it's a little bit, but I got some questions about it, some issues, some problems that I want to discuss with the Fatiha today. So let me start let me start by saying, okay, first issue. I think I want to write these down, you guys. I think I want to write these down, and then we can look over them together when we're done here. Um, let me just see here. Um, I'm just going to actually write these issues that I have with it down um, as we're doing this. So here's a blank presentation on Google. Okay. Okay. Issues. Okay. With the Fatha. Now, I'm going to start out in English here. I'm going to put this up here so you guys could see it. So we could write down the issues, the problems. Hello, Troy. God bless you, man. Long time no see. One of the first issue that I have with the Fatha is the fact that it is the number one surah. Okay. Let me see if I could find this verse in the Quran. There's a verse in the Quran that says this. Okay. I want to look at this surah, this verse right here. This is my first issue, my first problem with the Fatha. Okay, this is the. Let's look at this. I got so many things going on here that I'm gonna be going back and forth. But this is the first issue. Yes, that's gonna be one of the big issues is the the curse. um, um, it says here, one of the accusations that they make against Christians, especially, and Jews, is that they corrupted their book. Well, here in Arabic, it says here they distorted the words of the scripture. Okay, and but if you look at what it says in Arabic, okay, the words from they distort. See, they distort the words from their places. Okay, I'm going to make it bigger so you guys can see it. Okay, this is in Surah 5, verse 14. It says, um, oh, where did it go? Verse 13, wasn't it verse 13? Okay, I think I went too far with it. Okay. Okay, they distorted the words of the scripture. That's not what it says in the Arabic. In the Arabic, you guys could see it right here. Okay. In the Arabic, what it says is, I wanted to put it like this so you guys could see it. If you don't know the English, you could, because they translate it into English. Okay, the first word, yuharrifun, they distort the words from their places. Now, what this means, one way they accuse the Christians of corrupting their book, is that they move the words from their places or put verses in different places from their places. and so that things are not the way they were in the Muslim mind sent down. Well, that's the first problem. That's the first problem that I have with the Fatha. This is the first problem that I have with the Fatha because let me just let me sniping tool. Oh, okay, forget that. Okay, the first problem that I have with the Fatha is that that's exactly the Fatha shows this very issue that the Muslims did the exact same thing that they're accusing the Christians of, um, because the Fatha uh, was not the first surah to come down. You know, so they accuse the Christians of uh, they accuse the Christians of that they change the words from their places, and yet this surah, um, hello brother Emmanuel.
Hello, brother. Coming to you live from Jerusalem, brother.
Whoa, that is not at all cheesy, really. I mean that. No, I mean that, bro. And you can go ahead and corrupt my words from their places, but you can't corrupt that background though. That
Uh, I keep
just
that as a
kidding.
motivation to go there one day.
Yes, it is definitely worth it, and believe it or not, it's one of the safest cities in the world.
Really?
Because oh yeah, it is. It's one of the safest cities in the world because there's so much security there, and so in spite of everything that's going on right now, it's very safe.
Yeah. I don't know if you heard. The Israeli military intercepted. They were trying to hit the rocket at the Al Aqsa Mosque.
Yeah,
And I saw a Twitter video of one of the Palestinian guy was recording it. There, he was praying it in Arabic, like Allahu Akbar, like. But I saw
yeah.
the what's their missile defense called? The I just
The
had the
Patriot, not the Patriot. The I know what you're talking about. The one that shoots down the
yeah. So
missiles.
for the defensive missile, if it's incoming, they as the guy recorded, it was literally coming towards the Al Aqsa. They stopped it. It's almost like either these people are trying intentionally trying to start a World War III, or like, oh my gosh.
I think they don't know what they're doing. To be honest, I
Yeah,
don't think they have the wherewithal to know how to aim their missiles
that's another thing too.
that accurately. But and the Israeli ambassador to the United Nations today, he was talking, and he said, yeah, Israel is having to defend Al Aqsa from Hamas. And the what's funny is that the name of this battle that Hamas, when they invaded Israel, what they called it was Al Aqsa flood. So that's what they called it, and so and now they're firing missiles towards Jerusalem. I don't know if they would
So
if if it did. You know what? They better be careful because I bet you Israel has the technology to direct those missiles exactly where they want, and they
absolutely.
could direct it and then blame Hamas for for the damage.
Exactly. That is
So yeah, I actually expected Israel to do that when Saddam Hussein was firing missiles at Israel. Remember?
I
I
remember that.
expected.
I was
Yeah, I
10
was
years
expecting.
old. That happened. Yeah. Are you talking about what the first Gulf War or the second one?
Yeah, the first Gulf
First
War.
one, yeah,
He
definitely
just started.
missiles. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, most of them flew into the sea, but but I was expecting that Israel was going to remote control one of them to the Temple Mount, and so. But yeah, that would be World War III, if they did that. So
I remember being on the other side of the field. I don't get that. We Muslims, we are a bigger country. Why can't we stop this little country?
well, how many countries is the Muslim world? 57 countries,
Yeah,
22 Arab countries, and they're not able to. But to tell the truth, in all honesty, all of the Arab countries secretly are rooting for Israel. The reason is because they are terrified of the Islamists in their own country. You see, and they're afraid, especially the governments. They're terrified that the Islamists will do a coup like Hamas did in Gaza. And
that's
so
why.
they secretly,
Oh, I'm
go
sorry for
ahead.
that. I cut you off, brother. Go ahead.
Yeah, they secretly are hoping that Israel eliminates Hamas. So they hate Hamas. Yeah. And
Yeah.
they hate the Palestinians too, but they'll never say that, but they do. But
That's the weird thing, brother. Why is that in the West?
mhm.
They don't understand that. It seems like they know more. Because I remember as a kid, I do remember seeing the Palestinian, the Islamic militant from the Palestinians said they're trying to take over uh, Jordan. Was it Jordan? They were trying to take over at one point. I remember seeing it. I was a kid though at the time. I remember seeing something in the news. There was a there was a friction going on between Jordan and the Palestinian. I remember they were trying to take
Yeah.
over. Oh man.
Well, Jordan is like 70% Palestinians anyway, and yeah, so they're a minority in their own country, and then they got all the Iraqis, which they love. They love the Iraqis because the Iraqis all have money. The Palestinians are all poor, living in refugee camps, but the not all of I don't mean that. Not
Yeah,
all the
exactly.
Palestinians
Yeah.
are like that, but a lot of them are. But the Iraqis, when they came, they brought so much money. So they had tons of money, and it was very good for the Jordanian economy. So they liked the Iraqis. So,
Wow, that's
but
interesting.
now they got the Syrians. They got the Syrian refugees, and so yeah.
Oh,
Um,
we need the Lord Jesus. Man.
yes, and but just talking about you, I'm sure. How old were you when you first memorized the Fatiha?
I was, I think, 6 or 7 years old
Okay, in Arabic,
in
of
Arabic.
course.
They forced us to learn
Did
Arabic first over Bengali, so that was the first language that I learned was Arabic.
Arabic?
But the,
Really? So do you speak Arabic? Do you speak it?
that was the problem. I don't speak it. I just learned how to read and write. That's
Okay.
the problem
Okay.
for many Islamists, like in the South Asian community. I can't speak on behalf of like say Indonesia or since Pakistan used the Arabic writing anyway. But for Bangladesh Muslims, most I would say for us because we grew up in the West, they make us force us to read Arabic first. We're back home.
Okay.
They learn Bengali and Arabic only for the
Okay.
prayer purpose, but nobody understands Arabic, And
Yeah. You
uh,
see, I've done. Go ahead. Yeah.
oh no, I was gonna say for the exception of two of my uncles, my father's brother, he lived in Saudi Arabia for 5 years, so he knows fluent Arab. Working there as a tailor. Um,
Okay.
yes, and yeah, that was the only one. I don't know about my grandfather. I never met my grandfather on my dad's side, but he was a Quran Hafiz, so he memorized the
Oh
whole
wow.
Quran. My grandfather, he was a worship leader in their village in Bangladesh, so that's what I remembered. But I was about 5 6 years old when my grandfather passed away. While we were living in the
Yeah.
states, he passed away in Bangladesh, and
Have you been to Bangladesh?
yeah, first time was in 1990, and then in 94 to 95. I mean, from 95 to 96. My father passed away in 94. My mom thought I was being too Americanized. So they tried to embed me into the Islamic doctrine. My mom tricked me, saying, go to Bangladesh for 2 months to get your mind straight. I go there, you're not coming back till next year.
Oh.
My mom did takia on me.
Oh
I was
man.
so mad at my mom for a long time, but I learned to forgive her, because because my aunts talked her into it, and now today
Okay.
all my cousins are doing worse than me. Like I found out one of my cousin had a baby out of wedlock, and that's a big no-no in the Islamic family. And it was a Christian girl that he met,
Oh no.
and I'm praying that maybe he'll come to the Lord, because I saw his daughter, so the I think he's engaged to her, but she's a Christian, and and he doesn't even practice Islam, like we always talked a lot, about I'm praying and I hope that he will come to the Lord, and
Mm,
but he's too serious about making money. But I'm like, I don't know, the way the world is going, when God is in control,
yeah.
wish to make.
Well, they're sanctified because of you, and that doesn't mean that they're saved, but they're
Yeah,
sanctified.
yes,
Which means that there's a little bit of a kingdom of God covering on them because of you. And because it says that the children are sanctified by the parents, even if they're not saved, or
really,
the unsaved spouse is sanctified by the saved spouse. Now, it doesn't mean that they're saved, but
yeah.
they're sanctified. There's a little bit of a covering that comes on them because of the saved spouse.
Can I say something, brother? Are you good at
Sure.
interpreting dreams, or
Uh,
or not? Maybe
um,
because when you mentioned that, I
no,
heard somebody else said the same thing. Because I had a dream when my father died. That dream always haunts me. In the dream, and that was one of the most realistic dream I ever had. I remember in the dream, it seems like my father was sitting in the floor, and in the background, it seems like there was celebration going on. My father got up, and he was smiling, and all I saw was a hand came out, and my father shook this person's hand. You didn't see the body behind it. All you saw was a hand came out, and then my dad looks at
okay,
me, "Come here, son. Come here!" Like out of joy. I open my eyes. I'm literally looking at my father with my eyes open in the middle of the dream. I'm trying to reach to my father, and it disappeared. When you mentioned about the covering, I don't know. It just haunted me back. Like I heard people tell me different things about the dream. For me, in my own understanding, I'm wondering if my father was happy knowing that I was going to be saved one day. Did God
yeah,
shook my father's hand about, like, and then when you mentioned about the that short covering,
yeah.
it just came back to
That's
my remembrance. And
I'm not. That's in the scripture. It says Paul says it that the husband is sanctified by the saved wife. And but it doesn't mean they're saved. It just means that
yeah,
they're sanctified, meaning that there is some kind of a covering that one day they may be saved. And the kids are sanctified by the accessibility shortcuts. 18 items. Voice guide. Sorry, that's my. I don't know what it is. But it says also that the children are sanctified by the believing parents, even if they're not saved yet, but they're sanctified. There's some kind of covering or protection.
No, they get the same benefits because he's saved.
Uh-huh. My wife is telling me something.
It's the grace of God in the house. They
Yeah.
get the same benefits.
Come share that with everybody.
No,
My wife is saying that means that there's the grace of God in the house and everybody gets the benefit of it. So, hallelujah. Well, you know what? My father died a Muslim, also supposedly, but you know what? I had almost the same dream you're talking about. And what happened is I had a dream one night that there's this other relative in our village who was a Muslim, and I had a dream that my dad and this relative were talking were laughing. They were laughing, they were happy, like you're saying. And
yeah,
my dad passed away, 3 years ago. But and in the dream, they were talking to this person, and this person was talking to them in Hebrew. Okay. And they were laughing and happy. And what's interesting is I called that relative that was in my dream
wow,
who was with my dad to tell this relative about the dream. And you know what the relative told me? They told me I had the same dream. Only I thought the man was talking to us in English. I thought he was an American talking in English. But in my dream he was talking in Hebrew. Okay. And so anyway, we just hung up. But then after we hung up, I realized, wait a minute, that was Jesus talking to them.
wow,
And And I called that person back and I said to them, they're Muslim. I said, listen, it, it was Jesus in your dream because we had the same dream. I said it was Jesus in your dream talking to you. Okay,
Hallelujah.
so you got, you know what? It's very possible,
One thing I
hallelujah.
would say, my father always feared God, and I know he knew what he knew because of his upbringing. Sure, my dad
Yeah,
says some things about if I leave, I don't know if my father would have the heart to do that because I know he had a good soul, and I could see how friendly he could be towards the end
yeah,
of his life. It's almost like my father knew he was going to die. He didn't tell us because we were only little kids. My father will
hmm,
say little nuggets. What would happen if I die? What would you do? And
yeah,
he start saying these things I didn't understand, and because that's the first time I experienced that he died right in front of me in the middle of an asthma attack, and I know that my father started beginning to go towards the Sufi side. He's trying to go more
okay,
peaceful route, because according to my ancestors, the Shah ancestry, Shah Jalal that brought Islam into India and settled in present day Bangladesh. According to my father, they're like a bunch of Sufi saints that just travel all the way to India, but I don't know how we all ended up as Sunni Muslims, But I seen a little bit of the changes how my father was going more toward the peaceful route, and
yeah. Well, yeah, even the Sufis though, they when push comes to shove, the Islam comes out, but
yeah, that's true. But only
but
God knows.
anyway,
Yeah.
yeah. I just want to kind of look at some of the issues with the Fatiha,
Oh,
okay, and with this opening, and I memorized it when I was a kid. It's the first surah that almost Muslims have to memorize because you pray. You're supposed to pray it like 17 times a day,
yeah.
if you do the 5 prayers and stuff. So, but one issue that I had with it is, first of all, it's the first surah in the Quran, but the thing about it is that it it's not the first surah that Muhammad got. We know that the first surah Muhammad got was Surah 96, which is the one that talks about the blood clot and man is made from the blood clot and stuff.
Yes.
Because that's what the famous story that he was in the cave and then Jibril said, "Ikra, read, read, read," and then he told him that read that you know man is made from a blood clot or whatever. But that's Surah 96. So that's the first Surah that came down, not Surah 1, not the Fatiha. So what is in the Quran is not the order that it came down, which means that the Muslims are the ones. When we see the verse that says that Christians changed the words from their places, no, it's the Muslims who changed the words from their places. They are supposed to have Surah 96 as the first one because that's the first one that came down, but they don't. They have it way over, almost at the end. Whereas the first surah is Al-Fatiha, which came down way later. So, that's my first problem.
Yeah, I heard the
And
same too. I'm sorry
go
for
ahead.
I was gonna say sure. I heard the same too growing up. They said when Uthman was changing it, so pretty much all the chapters all scrambled up. And
Yeah,
some people say Surah 9 is the last chapter. This is where we see where he proclaims the violence against the Christians.
right, right. Well, the we know that Surah 9 is the last one that came down, but it's number 9. Why isn't it the 114? Which means that they have changed. They're the ones who have changed the words from their places. And so that's a big no-no. And yet they don't have a problem with the fact that they did it or who did it. Who's the one who told them put this one first and this one 10th and this one, who's the one who said it? Did Jibril say that? Because that's not the order that Jibril brought it down. So anyway, that's my first issue
That's a good.
with the Fatiha. So my second issue with the Fatiha, and feel free to jump in and give your own, yes, Ibn Kathir, your own comments about as we're reading this. The other issue is the very first word. the very first word of the Quran. Okay, and it's this word, and it's let me just show it to you. Let me just okay, okay. Just take me a second here, you guys. I just wanted to bring this up here. Sometimes it takes a little while when you're dealing with the Arabic and stuff. So
Hey, brother. I was gonna say while you're looking, have you ever read Surah Fatiha without the diacritical marking? Do you see the wording differently without the diacritical marking in Surah Fatiha?
you know, I haven't done that, but it might be fun to do that because
Yeah.
there are other surahs that I've done that with, other verses that I've done that with, and I believe that it shows that this was taken from a Christian hymn book.
Yeah, 'cause that's what also because I heard that too. So that's why I was curious. Like, because you could also read the regular Arab without the diacritical marking, like the normal Arab writing, like in the newspaper, the school book, without the
Yeah,
diacritical marking. That's how I was interested to find out from you, like. Because I remember one time you showed me a one of the surahs. If you take the diacritical marking, it has something with Yeshua on it. So that's why I was curious.
what it says,
Yeah.
yeah, what it says, if you just, because Uthman, there was no diacritical marks in
No,
Uthman's Quran. And so they just kind of guessed where they put it, which is the biggest reason why you've got 37 different Qurans, is because they put the diacritical marks wherever they wanted, all over the place. And it's not you know, and so nobody knows what the original, alleged Uthmani Quran was like, because the diacritical marks have completely changed the meaning of verses. But this first word of the Quran is I see it as a problem. And this is the word. It's bism. Oh, you know this, right?
Mhm.
What does it mean, bism?
I know Bism is almost if you try to add to Bismillah or
Right, exactly. It's
this is
the
like a
first
root
word of
word.
the Quran. Bismillah, in the name of. But the problem is, in Arabic, this isn't how you spell in the name of Allah. Okay, this isn't how you spell it. Okay, if you want to see how you spell it
I
correctly,
get it. I get it. 'Cause this was a Bismillah. It's supposed to be Bismillah or allegedly supposed to be Allah's name, but Lil Bismillah.
well, what I'm really talking about is just this word right here,
Oh, just
bism.
that one. Okay.
This
Bis-
word, you see, this is really two words.
You're right. That's interesting. Yeah.
This is two words. It's supposed to be two words. It means in the name. In the name. Well, this isn't how you write in the name. This is a contraction that nobody uses in Arabic. Only in the Quran, because of to make it poetic, they went and took out the elif. They're supposed to be ism. It's not supposed to be bism. It's supposed to be ism. That's the correct Arabic. So this is a linguistic mistake in Arabic. Bism. Nobody uses this when you're just talking, But I mean, they do when they're talking, but not when they're writing. The same way that in English, what we there's what we say, but then there's what we write is
Yeah.
different from what we say. Because when we write, it's smarter than what we usually say, because but uh, but in writing, this is a mistake. It's supposed to be two words: be ism, in the name. But this way, what they did is they smushed it together to come up with bism, which is not a word. And of course, 113 of the surahs have this bism, in the name of Allah the Merciful, and they use it, and it's acceptable, and it's poetic, and it's everything, but it's linguistically, grammatically incorrect. It's a mistake.
If I was to take the
So
diacritical marking, I know I see the letter where it becomes a B, the lowercase b letter. So if I was to remove the diacritical, so this you said that it's supposed to be an aleph in the first letter. It's
No,
supposed to
no,
be
no, not in the first letter. Here, let me just show you the way it should be. Okay,
okay.
you see the problem. The problem is. Let me see if I could show this. I see I don't have the pad, to
Yeah,
show it to you.
not a problem, brother.
But
Rush.
but let me see if I could do this in Arabic because I think I could. I think I could. Here, if you look at this, the way it's written is like this. Okay, let me get this out of the way here. It's written. Oh, come on. Okay, like this. Okay, let's see if I can make it bigger here. Oops. Okay, I'm trying to make it bigger so you can see it. Okay, control. Okay, see, this is the way it is written. It's written like that, bis. But what it should be is like this. B, okay, B, ism.
B is okay.
Ism, you see, it's two words. B, ism. Name is ism, not sem, like that. Okay, the way it's written, it's kind of, they just kind of took poetic license with it. Okay, be ism, in the name.
That's
Okay,
when I took basic
but
Arabic, to say name is ismi, like ismika or ma ismika.
yeah, ism means name, right? And so, but this right here is the first word of the Quran, and it means, it's supposed to mean in the name.
The name.
And everybody, and you're not where nobody's going to change it because of what I'm saying, but it's still a mistake. It is a mistake linguistically, it's a mistake grammatically, and it's supposed to be two words, be ism, in the name, but they turned it into bis, and it's a, you can't use it. There's nowhere else in the Arabic language, I mean, in writing, where you can use this, because it's a mistake. You get in trouble, it's a mistake. But in the Quran, it's the first word and it's a mistake. So anyway, this is the first problem I have with the second problem. The first problem was the placement of the Fatha, the fact that it's number one, even though it's not number one. It was the number one was Surah 96. And so the fact that it's number one is a problem. So placement is a problem, and bism is a problem. Do you know a famous song where bism is used? A very famous American song?
Not that it rings a head. No, it rings a bell. No.
Okay. There's a very famous song by Queen called The Bohemian.
Bismillah. Da, 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 da. Bismillah. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So Queen is,
as you'd be like, Dad, he said a Muslim word, Bismillah. Muslim get excited. Oh, he must be a Muslim. He said Bismillah.
I don't think he was a Muslim, but he did have. So. I think he was like Baha'i or something like that. One of those other like Zoroastrian or something like that from Pakistan, I think it is. But
was it Paki? I didn't know about their background, like who they were. Are you talking about the lead singer?
Yeah, Freddie Mercury. Yeah.
Oh, I might have to look that up. Interesting.
Yeah. So he was what? He was Greek? Yeah. Oh, my wife said he was Greek.
Yeah, I was thinking he didn't look Pakistani at all. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yes, Queen sang Bismillah. No, we will not let you go. Let him go. Bismillah. No, we will not let you go. Let him go. Bismillah. And if you watch the movie, because there was a movie
They did.
made. It
I
was,
haven't seen it yet, but I heard it was pretty good. The movie about their story.
yeah, it's Bohemian Rhapsody, and they
Yeah.
actually talk about that. They talk about that word in it, and he says, "Oh, it's an ancient poetry or something," but grammatically, it's a mistake. So, anyway, but anyway, so that's my first issue with the the second issue with the Fatha. The first one is its placement. That's incorrect. Okay. Somebody's saying he was Persian.
I thought Freddie was.
He wasn't Persian? Okay. All right. The third issue that I have with it is Abdullah bin Mas'ud.
Mm.
Now, who can tell me something about Abdullah bin Mas'ud? You guys have probably heard him.
That Muhammad's cousin, I think.
He wasn't his cousin. He may have been one of his cousins. I
He's
don't think so.
The one the cousin left Islam after he realized he was a phony. And
No,
Ibn Masud. No, I think
no.
someone else.
Abdullah bin Mas'ud. Muhammad had like his favorite memorizers of the Quran, and there's a place where Muhammad said, if you're to take the Quran from anybody, take it from these four.
Yeah, I remember.
He gave four. Yeah, he gave four people that he said take the Quran from them, and one of them was Abdullah bin Mas'ud. Okay, and then you guys, I think, how does in the name? Okay. Truth Defender is asking, how is it written in the Arabic? In the name.
Mm.
In the name.
Like the actual Arab writing. Okay.
Yeah. That's an interesting question. Let me see if I can find that, just because he did ask it. Okay.
I'll use Google Translate myself.
Bible. Let me see. Blue. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to find it, but I will look. Let me just look for a second here, see if I can find it. If I find it in English, then I can find it. It'll be easy to find. It's in the name.
According to Google Translate, mine says BSM in the name. I just put in the name, and it translated to BSM.
Oh, in Arabic? What is the verse?
It says it's spelled with it doesn't have no diacritical marking. It's spelled Ba, Alif, Sin, Mim.
Oh, okay. اذهبوا تلمذوا جميع الأمم Thank you, Lewis. Tell you what, you guys, Lewis has come to the rescue. Oh, I'm sorry, Truth Defender. So,
Brother Truth, man, it's been a long time.
Yeah, that you know what, Truth Defender, you absolutely proved my point. You absolutely proved my point. You're making me look good, man. So thank you. But this is because this is how it's written in Arabic, in the correct way. And this is how it's written in the Bible when it says, go forth, baptizing them in the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Okay. And in the name is be-ism. This is the correct way to write it.
So that's what Google Translate gave me, BSM.
Be-ism, right. And but you see, it's got the elif in it.
Yes, I see that too. Yep.
Yeah. You see,
yep.
You see, I actually did it wrong here. It actually is supposed to be like that, which is what I was going to do. This is what I was going to do, but I actually did it wrong. But thank you, Lewis, or Truth Defender, for showing us this, because this is the correct way. Okay, this is what is in the Quran, but this is the correct way to write it. And oops, shoot. Okay, because I'm so used to using Microsoft Word. I'm not using Microsoft Word here, and so it gets a little bit.
Are you using like the MacBook? And it's like a different software probably, and
Yeah. So anyway, let me go ahead. Oops, باسم.
yes. Like that.
So anyway, this is the way it's supposed to be. This is the way it's supposed to be, but this is the way it is in the Quran. And it's an error linguistically. It's an error in Arabic. Okay. فَإِذْهَبُوا. Yes, what you, this is what it says in Matthew 28:19 in Arabic. It says it the correct way. And this right here is the correct way. Be ism. Not bism, it's be ism. So thank you very much, Truth Defender. You really that really I see I didn't think to do that, but that's a very good that's a very good point. Thank you for pointing that out for us. So yes. So okay. So there's the first issue. First problem is the placement. It should not be number one. It should 96 should be number one. But anyway, and you know what? I don't really care what order they do it. I don't care if they do whatever order they want. But the problem is they accuse the Christians of corrupting their scriptures by misplacing words out of their places when they do the exact same thing. I mean, they do what they accuse us of doing. And so I just want to point out, because they accuse us, I'm going to go ahead and say, and it's like most Muslims aren't really accusing of us of it, but the Quran is. Because the Quran is accusing Christians of doing this, I'm going to go ahead and point this out, that the Quran has this error, that it is misplaced the Fatiha. It should be way later, and 96 should be the first surah if they put things in their right place. But they are the ones who did not put it in the right place. So anyway, so there's that issue. There's the issue of bi'ism in the name. That's a big mistake. That's a huge mistake, because that's not linguistically correct.
No.
And then the third issue, which I'm talking about right now, is Abdullah ibn Mas'ud. Muhammad said, take the Quran from 4 people. He didn't say take it from 12. He didn't say take it from Uthman. He said there were 4 people you're supposed to take it from.
Absolutely.
And one of them is Abdullah ibn Mas'ud. Well, Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, Muhammad commanded you to take the Quran from him. Well, surprise, surprise, he had a Quran. But in his Quran, there was no Fatiha. He did not have a Fatiha. He said, and it's very interesting what he said. He says the Fatiha is not a surah. It's a prayer. It's not a surah. It's a prayer. And so he did not include it in his Quran. And that's why his Quran only has 111 surahs, not 114, 111. Okay. Muhammad said, take your Quran from Abdullah bin Mas'ud. Muhammad commanded it. And yet, in Abdullah bin Mas'ud's Quran, there is no Fatiha. Okay. So, whether I or the Muslim, with the Bism issue, it's very hard to prove if neither I nor the Muslim. You're right, Danny Paris. You're absolutely right. It's very hard to prove it if you don't speak Arabic. You know, I'm looking at issues that are both linguistic, English, that English people could use, but also the Arabic. I do know the Arabic, and because of that, I do know this particular issue. And so yeah, so that's why I did bring it. You know, Haron May wants to come on. Let me just go ahead and invite him on too. By the way, I think I told you this, Emmanuel, but when I went out to the mosque on Friday, there were there were several people from Bangladesh,
Oh, you mentioned that the other day. Yeah.
yeah, who were there, and it would have been great if you were there.
God willing,
So
I know I've been saying for a long time I was gonna come down there in your area. God willing, I'll try. I'm gonna try to make that plan. Just the last couple of
okay,
months, there's just been like so much going on with my life too, and then with my kids.
yeah, sure. Well, if you ever get down, we'll go there, and you can come, and I'll let you get beat up, and yeah. So I'm gonna run away, go buy pizza or something for some home, and let you get beat up. So,
Just make sure we're
so
recording everything so we could send it to the police. And
yeah. Oh, you guys. By the way, you guys, I think I could say this is that Hatun Tash is still missing, and
I didn't think that she was safe. Like somebody posted a video saying that they found her, and no,
no, yeah, the belief is that that was a fake, and that she has been. Nobody has seen her. She hasn't been to Speaker's Corner, and so she's still missing. She's been
I,
missing for about a month. For about a month now.
I'm friends with the one that does the speaker's corner with her. His name is Brother Steven. He's a South Indian brother. You probably seen him
Okay.
around in the videos in Hatun. He's a dark skinned, like short South Indian. And I talked to
Okay.
him, has anybody gone through her place or at least backtrack, find something where her,
I'm
like
sure they've.
recording, find
I'm
something.
sure they've done that. Yeah. But they're saying that it's been a month now, so it is scary, man. So, hello, Haroon, welcome.
How are you, brother?
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Long time no
So
see.
I think you're discussing about which surah.
Surah 1.
All right, but actually it's not one. It had to be, if you chronologically, if you go, it had to be surah number 95. I think.
It is. Yeah, it is. It's out of order. Surah 96 should be number 1, but everything is out of order. And like I was telling Emmanuel, I don't care what order they put it in. They can put in whatever order they want, but because they accuse the Christians of misplacing their words, God's words, since they accuse us of doing it, I want to point out the fact that they also have done it in their book. And the number one way to show that is the fact that the Fatiha is the first surah, when in reality it didn't come down till way later. So anyway, but just about the Abdullah bin Mas'ud issue, is Abdullah bin Mas'ud said this is not a surah. This is a prayer. It doesn't belong. It's not even a surah like the rest of the surahs, telling stories about, talking ants and, stuff like that. But the Fatiha is not a surah. It is actually a prayer. Okay, so it should not be in the Quran. That's what he said. That's what Abdullah bin Mas'ud said. And Muhammad said, take your Quran from him. So if you want to argue with somebody, argue with Muhammad, who said you're not supposed to have, you're supposed to take the Quran from Abdullah bin Mas'ud. And he said, no Fatiha. And so, and he also did not have the last 2 surahs of the Quran, which were, supposed to break the witchcraft that was on Muhammad, Surah Al-Falaq and Surah Al-Nas. 113 and 114 were supposedly sent down to break the witchcraft that was on Muhammad for a year. So he said that those 2 should not be in the Quran. So anyway, that's my third issue with the Fatiha, is Abdullah bin Mas'ud. Okay. Now another issue with it. Let's go and actually look at it. Another issue is, who's supposed to be talking here?
That's a good question.
This is the Quran, okay? This is the Quran. It's not supposed to be a hadith. The Quran does say that it is a hadith, but it is not supposed to be a hadith. It's supposed to be the Quran. It's supposed to be
his direct word first person point of view.
Yeah. Whose direct word?
There's the $1,000,000 question. Like, what will Allah say in the name of Allah? I like. So Allah is telling worship like. That's where it's. This is why they silence you to question Allah.
Yeah. Well, that that right there is the issue, is that if you look at the Fatiha, the Fatiha says praise be to the God of the worlds, the merciful, the compassionate, the King of the Day of Judgment. To you we return, and to you we come. Well, who's talking here? It's supposed to be Allah talking. It's supposed to be Allah talking. And how can Allah be saying the next verse, Ihdina, send us on the right way, on the straight path? Send us on the right path. Who is Allah asking to send him onto the right path? Because this is supposed to be the words of Allah, it doesn't make sense, because how could Allah be asking to be on the right way? Allah's asking someone to put him on the right way. It says, Ihdina sirat al-mustaqim. Send us, guide us to the right way. Well, Allah's supposed to be talking here. This isn't supposed to be a prayer. This isn't supposed to be Muhammad talking or Uthman talking. This is supposed to be Allah talking. And yet Allah is praying and asking to be put on the right way.
Yep.
How could Allah be asking to be put on the right way?
I always play word game with the Quran. Okay, Allah, this is supposed to be you. I'm talking to you, right? Imagine somebody's looking at you. Do you have a schizophrenic problem? Who are you talking to? I'm talking to Allah right here. He told me, praise be to him. So I'm like, okay, Allah, you're telling me, praise who?
Well, it's exactly right. It's exactly the issue, is like, wait a minute. How is, how this is very clearly, it says Allah is praising. It says praise Allah. Is Allah saying this? And so, that.
That's a big problem. Yep.
Yeah. I'm writing down all of the different issues I have. And who is talking, okay?
Amen.
And then I have an issue with the fact of verse 3. It says Malik Yawmiddin. Okay, this is the now this is what I learned, and it's probably what you learned, Emmanuel, too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Malik Yawmiddin. How did you learn it? Do you remember? Was it Malik Yawmiddin?
The way how it says there, a lot of them were non-Arabs. I had imams there like Pakistani, Bangladeshi. They would say Malik Yawmiddin. That's how I would pronounce it. Like,
Okay.
Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin, Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, Malik Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, Malik Yawmiddin.
Okay.
Yeah, Malik Yawmiddin.
Okay. Well, you see, the problem with that, is that there's the Warsh version, and in the Warsh version, it's not Malik Yawmiddin, it's Malik Yawmiddin, which is the it doesn't say
so the diacritical marking will be in the bottom, right? Instead of ma, so that the line will be in the bottom. Meleki Yawmiddin.
It's also, there's that line. There's a long line that makes it Malik.
That makes
it A.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so
so if they take that long vowel and put it at the bottom, it becomes meh instead of
Malik.
Malik.
And the problem with that is that it changes the meaning. It goes from being the owner of the day of judgment, which is a Malik Yawmiddin, which is what 99% of the Muslims learn it. It's what
Yeah.
you learned it. It's the way I learned it. This right here, Maliki Yawmiddin, the
Yeah.
owner of the. Well, in the Warsh version, it's Malik Yawmiddin, which is king of the day of judgment. Now, there's a big difference between owner and king.
That's true.
Okay. You know, I could be the owner, Malik el Telephone, the owner of the telephone. Whereas Malik, I'm not the king of the telephone. I'm just the owner.
The owner.
But in one place it's king, in one place it's owner. Completely different meanings. Now, a king can be an owner, and an owner can be a king, but they're not synonymous. They're not the same word. And so that's a big issue. And it exposes one of the big problems of the Quran, which is the whole issue of vowels and diacritical marks, which did not exist in Uthman's Quran. And, and then you got to ask, according to the belief in Islam, according to the Quran is from, it says, Quran Majid min Loh Mahfud, the glorious Quran from the preserved tablet up in heaven. Well, does the preserved tablet have Melik or Malik?
Good
You
question.
know, it's a huge difference in meaning, difference in pronunciation, and so which one's on the preserved tablet? And I'll tell you what Zakir Naik says. Zakir Naik says that Shabir Ali says all of them are on the preserved tablet. Every single thing people could write about the Quran is on the preserved tablet already. And so because they got a huge problem, a huge mess, and so they just said, oh yeah, it's all on the preserved tablet because it's safe. I mean, who's gonna disprove that? You're gonna go up there and look at it, and
Yeah.
so.
I was gonna ask you, bro, you said Malik means king. You said Malik.
Malik.
Malik. In the Yusuf Ali translation, they wrote it as Malikio, master of the day of judgment.
Master, yeah.
Oh,
Well, owner or master, but the word Melik is very well used. It's very well known, and Melik means king. Now that's the Warsh. That's the Warsh version. But you know what? If you look at the different versions, besides Yusuf Ali, they all come up with something different because they don't know how to translate it into English.
Yeah,
and then when you got the issue of the different versions of the Quran, this is the first big contradiction between the versions of the Quran, and so it's a huge issue, and it's not the only one. There's so many different diacritical mark issues between the different Qurans. And so anyway, but this right here is the big one. This is the big one, or the first one, the first really big contradiction between the different versions of the Quran. Malik Yawmiddin or Malik Yawmiddin. So, okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, okay. Okay. We have, okay. Well, I got a couple other issues here with the Fatha. Let me, okay. Malik. Okay. Okay. Let's go back. Let's go back to the, okay. Okay. If you take one thing that you mentioned is if you take the diacritical marks out and then compare it with the I think it's an Aramaic songbook, Christian songbook, that they're the same. There's so many similarities because there's a lot of words here that are not Arabic.
Yes.
Sirat al-Mustaqim. Mustaqim is Sirat. Iyaka na'budu, Iyaka nasta'in. you know, a lot of people say these words, but they don't know what they mean. Alayhum ghair and the last thing that I'll talk about today is, well, you know, I think maybe it's worth mentioning this. Let
You
me
know,
just mention.
you know what?
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I feel like I apologize. It was a quick one. I'm really, really interested to see how the Quran would be read without having all the diacritical marking. I'm really interested to see if anyone could translate it without the diacritical marking to see how what it actually says in the text.
Well, you know those. You know that there was that German guy that did do that. You know,
Really?
and he looked at compared it with the Aramaic. You know, and it was almost identical in so many places, especially in places where the words don't make sense in Arabic. And he found that, you know, it compares so much to the Christian songbook. It was a Christian songbook, you know, a hymnal kind of.
I heard Jason
And
talk about that. Like they found some.
yeah, Jay Smith is the one that talked about that.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's a there's one. Let me just look at this, see if I can find this. I'm not sure if I'm going to find it,
Yeah, not a
but I'm going to try here. Let me see if I could do this. Um, okay. Oops. Shoot. Oh. You know what? It's not giving me what I'm looking for. But so okay. Let me see if I did this. No. Um okay, well, what I wanted to show is you know, unfortunately my Arabic keyboard here doesn't show the letters um, the way I wanted to. But let me just show you what I wanted to show you, and which is something that happens quite often in the Quran, and that is misspellings.
Mm,
And there's this word right here, which is sirat,
Sirat, yeah.
which means the way,
Ah,
sirat al-mustaqim, the straight way. Okay.
yeah.
But the problem is there's another version, there's another place where this word is used where it's spelled not with the sud, you know, the
Yes, the Sad, yeah.
heavy S, but with the seam, which is the light S.
That
Okay.
changes meaning, yeah.
But it's the same word, it just misspelled.
Okay.
It's a misspelled word. And so that in the Quran, it does have it spelled both ways, which is another issue that, like I said, these are issues that I have with the Fatiha, but these are issues with the whole Quran because there's so many misspellings in the whole Quran. And for instance, the name of Abraham is spelled 3 different ways in the Quran. Ibrahim, Abram, Abram, you know, without, and so there, but this particular word, because it's in the Fatiha, I'll go ahead and just point it out now. So, okay. And, you know, there's a lot more to be said about this. And I know that Christian, we could talk about Rahman, we could talk about Rahim, we could talk about that opening, Bismillah, you know, where did
That's
that come from? Was that part of the original Quran, or when did they put it in? Why is there a surah that doesn't have it? Surah 9 doesn't have it. Why? And so there's a lot of issues here. But then the most difficult part of this is the last words. عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. It says, don't lead us in the way of the ones who are whose your wrath is against them, and the who are lost. And this is generally believed to be talking about the Jews and Christians. And it's like, why do you got to have this anti-Jewish and Christian in the most important prayer that the Muslims have? This is the most important prayer, the most important surah to Muslims, and yet it ends with.
Look like you froze, brother. Brother Steve, you there? Can you hear us? Did he froze? Can you hear us, Steve? Anybody can hear Steve in the chat? I guess he went off. No, can't. Oh, you can't hear Janice? I'm in charge. I'm here taking over Brother Steve's channel, and I'm tired right now, ready to go to bed. Oh, man. How are you doing, Mr. Hironme? You doing good, brother? Did I say your name right? Hironme? Is that how you pronounce it? Oh, man.
Hey, sorry, you guys.
Take over your channel now.
Hey, do what you got to do, man. It's like you're not here by accident, If so, yeah, sorry about that.
You're good, brother.
Yeah, so I don't know what happened, you guys. By the way, so it says yes, take over, Emmanuel. Steve, wake up, brother. Now Steve froze, kicked off his own live stream. It's fun. You're just to read some of the stuff that everybody said. Says Mukarupa. If you read Quran 96, you'll see that Mo is the pen. Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, you guys, that's all I kind of wanted to say today. 6 issues I have with the El Fatiha, and you know what? If look what someone said. Hooray! Jibril tried to block Steve, and Steve beat him down.
Cancel his Jannah Telecom.
I have a black dog, so don't push me, Jibril. So
yes, don't do it. That's right. They are afraid to come in to see a black dog.
Yeah. All right, you guys. Well, shoot, we've been on for an hour and 13 minutes, which is.
Yeah, and I'm ready to go to bed.
That's it. My wife is still organizing, so I may have to prolong the subject, my issue here. But yeah, so thank you for coming on, and God bless you, man. Bless your family.
Thank you, brother. If the next time you come back live again, I'll be interested to see how you would read Surah Fatiha, because it's the shortest one, or any easy passage without the diacritical marking. I'm just interested to see how it would.
We have the book. We have the book. which it was by that German guy that Jay Smith spoke about.
Really?
Yeah.
He texted me his name. Like after we get off, you could just send me in the Facebook Messenger. Just send me his name, and
Okay.
I'll try to look for his book.
I have the book, but I just want to tell you, I tried to read it. Oh,
It's that bad, huh?
Huh? But the thing is, it was so hard.
Wow.
It is so high. It was a doctorate thesis, I believe, and it is so high. It's very difficult. It was very difficult for me to understand. And maybe if I go back and read it again, um,
Must be
but
that bad.
it, it it's just that it's very high, very high level. It was for me, maybe not for others, but it was for me. It was difficult for me, so I don't want people to think, oh,
Oh,
I wasn't able to. But I'm going to try again because there's so many very important things in what he said. So
definitely.
yeah, so yes. Hello, Haron May.
Sir, can I ask you a question? Is Arabic is your mother tongue?
No, it's my father tongue.
All right.
Oh, did he disappear?
Where is he? He gone.
I disappeared again.
He
It
rapped.
So
is.
sorry.
Uh,
The
my
network issue.
my mother tongue is
Uh,
Portuguese, and so my
All
father tongue
right.
is Arabic. So
Yeah,
yes,
I mean he's from Egypt or Saudi Arabia or somewhere else. Yeah, I mean your father.
a Palestinian.
Oh, he's a Palestinian.
Yes,
Yeah, there's is you have very great ancestry.
yes, yeah,
All right, brother.
yes. So there was one little video I kind of I wanted to show you that let's see if I can. I don't know. You know what? I can't. I can't find it.
So, where are you living? I mean, the place where you living is there any gurudwara available there?
Is there any what?
Gurudwara or mandir?
Oh, you talk about like a Hindu temple?
No, Hindu and Sikh temple.
Yeah,
Gurudwara.
there's Hindu temples in the States. There are Hindu temples, Sikh temples, because
Yeah.
America is a land of opportunity. So you have other religions for their place of worship also. I know the biggest one, I think there's a big Hindu temple in Southern California. I know there's a big one
All
there.
right, Southern California. Yes, yes, yes.
Mhm.
Yes. I know. I usually go to the mosques on Friday, and
You go to mosque on Friday.
I go to preach the gospel.
Oh, you go to preach gospel on Friday to the mosque.
Yeah, to the Muslims. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, okay,
This
okay.
I was only threatened once this week, and so um,
I mean,
so
you are
things.
threatened by some Muslim guy.
Yeah, he told me that if I say anything about Muhammad or the Quran, that he's going to hit me, and he said, "Don't be disrespecting Muhammad." He said, "This is jihad. This is jihad." And I wanted to show him. You know what? Behind my cross is a live stream, and I could show your face and have you deported in half
Next
an
time,
hour.
next time when you go to a mosque, take some Hindu friends or Sikh friends with you. They will be save you. If they attack you, they will save you.
That's, thank you. I actually want those Sikhs and Hindus to also come to the Lord. I want to preach to them too. So, all right, you guys. Thank
All
you.
right, brother. God bless you guys.
Have a wonderful night. Thank you, Haron May, for coming on. It's been a while,
Oh yeah, good to
Thank
see
you,
you.
sir.
and the Lord Jesus loves you. And if you haven't done it, please do it now. Jesus, help me. Jesus, forgive me. Jesus, come into my heart. Jesus, help me. Jesus, forgive me. Jesus, come into my heart. يسوع ساعدني. يسوع سامحني. يسوع ادخل قلبي. Yeah, well, what I said is that I want the Hindus and the Sikhs to come to the Lord too. So okay. I hope that you win the lottery. So thank you guys very much for being with us. Thank you, Troy. Thank you, Janice, Peter, to Apologetics, YNYS FAR. And the Lord's blessing be with you all. God bless you. And of course, I can't, Emmanuel, I'm not showing my intro anymore because I can't finance my what is that word?
Finance Pinky some pants.
You see, you never grew out of this, did you, Emmanuel? And so yeah, you need to grow, my friend. People grow.
So, Emmanuel, sir, are you from California too?
No, I grew up in New Jersey. My family
You're from New
background,
Jersey.
yeah. But my background is Bangladeshi and Indian, so
Yeah, stay away from Pakistanis. They are
I
dangerous.
know.
I mean, they
I know all about this.
Oops, sorry, bro. Well, we love everybody and we preach the gospel to everybody. We tell everybody about Jesus. That's what we're here for. And all of us got our sins and our cultural mistakes and problems, but everybody needs the gospel. So thank you very much, you guys. And
If you have ever wondered why dull apologists lie so much, it's because on a rare occasion that they tell the truth. This happens.
One of the reasons I accepted Islam was the scientific miracles. I'll be honest with you. And now we know that this whole scientific miracles was absolute nonsense.
You're going to have to repeat that.
That the standard narrative has holes in it. That's